Good morning, TFR.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
It's part of waking up. This Folgers in your cup.
And TGIF, everybody, welcome. I'm still thinking today's Tuesday. I wrote Tuesday on the show description, at least in more than one spot this morning, getting set up for the show. But welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. We are glad to be with you this morning. How you doing, fellas?
I'm here.
Yes,
and I realize my fan is running, so I don't know how I've done that. Give me a half a moment to go turn it off.
How about you, Zack? How you doing?
I'm tired. I was dumb and I stayed up playing video games with Nemo last night.
Oh.
Not too late though. I think I was in bed by like 10, but I don't know what happened. I could not sleep. Just one of those nights where you wake up like 10 times and it feels like it was 10 seconds later every time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll live. It's Friday, my dudes.
It is Friday, my dudes.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Is it Friday, my dudes?
And it's crazy, isn't it? This week flew by.
It's Friday.
Oh, how was your week, Josh?
It was all right. It was the harsh realization that I may not quite have my funds for the sales tax for my car this week like I was supposed to, which is just poor financial planning on my part, really. Honestly, if I just wouldn't have got my windows tinted, I would have probably already had this shit done. And I knew when I was doing it that was going to be the issue, because I was sitting there staring at the bill as he was writing up the work order, thinking, well, do I pay this and just get my windows tinted like I want, or do I do the responsible thing and get my car licensed like I oughta? Needless to say, my windows got tinted and my car did not get licensed. But I did take off work yesterday and got my personal property tax taken care of and other good stuff. I had a fasting blood work done at the doctor's yesterday. Apparently, my last blood work, everything was a little high. So they wanted to do a fasting one just to see what the levels really were. So I'm going to be real curious.
To them, SOP for you. Sorry.
Yeah, I tried to tell them I live my life a little high, but they weren't
Yeah.
listening.
How you been feeling lately?
Hey?
Feeling all right?
Oh, yeah, feeling good. No issues. It was just settled or scheduled 6 months ago. It was just one of them things that actually I chose to do just because I was more curious to see what the difference would be between what it was versus what it is after a couple of lifestyle changes and a typical fast. It's fasting blood work. Don't eat anything from midnight to 8 a.m. No problem. You usually stop eating at like 7 p.m. and don't eat again until like almost 10.
You know, you were talking about paying taxes. That would piss me off so much if it wasn't like we were giving our money to crackheads. I mean, we're $30 trillion in debt. What are they doing with all this money? You know? And I understand it takes money to, do this and that and yada. 31 trillion in debt. And we just throw it at stuff. Because it's not their money. They don't care, right? It's the people's money. But yeah, the whole Federal Reserve, all this kind of stuff, something needs to change eventually here. Maybe the aliens from Vegas are going to save us all. I see people.
Oh, is that that's where they are in Vegas?
Oh, there's people claiming that
they saw them.
5 feet, 10-foot, 8-foot creatures were in their backyard with big eyes, big boom. Now there was video cam of something falling in Vegas. It was on one of the cops' cam things that they have. A couple houses, like doorbell ring cams and just surveillance cameras caught it. There was a 911 call they've been playing. Oh yeah, I've seen it twice now, like pop up on my YouTube feed, and I don't want alien shit. So yeah, they're going to be pushing this pretty hard.
I think they're just trying to get there ahead of the Flat Earth Conference rush.
That's what I was thinking too. This is just the preemptive hardening of the defenses in Las Vegas of the flat earthers coming ready to swoop down and descend upon Las Vegas this summer. Like, well, we got to figure out something to do. We'll just start laying the foundation of how crazy they are because aliens exist.
Yeah, they even said that it tried to get into one of their backloaders and drive it off or something.
Like you would.
Yeah. Oh, the spaceship's not working. Let's go jump into this thing. See if it flies. Oh, the aliens want their tickets early for the Flat Earth Festival. That's all.
That's right. Coming to get that early bird special.
And I mean, I've been waiting for this. I saw somebody in chat put it up there. Next will be Bluebeam. And I don't even know if Bluebeam is... Do you think it's super advanced technology now, or do you think they're past stuff like that?
I think they're past stuff like Bluebeam. I don't think that... What have you heard from Bluebeam other than research that's 20 years old?
Yeah. I mean, do they really need to do that? Something that could glitch out and mess up on you? I'm sure, there are craft out there that are flown by humans that a normal pilot would look at, like even like an F-16 pilot would look at and be like, whoa, I want to fly one of those. I'm sure humans have made those types of crafts. And I don't know, big suit maybe, find a bunch of NBA players in their off time, I guess. I don't know. 8-10 feet, that's insane. Maybe little stilts or something. I don't know. Well, the way robotics have been advancing somewhat, they can make 8-foot tall robots. And I mean, doesn't have to walk like a human because it's not, right? We all think they'd be aliens. They could be all janky walking and something. I don't know what they're going to do. That'd be crazy if this was it, though.
Well, it's been planned and coming for some time now.
I know
and
this
it's
is
a multi-pronged approach. I mean, it's not just we have some lights and we can show you images in the sky. I'm pretty sure what they began in late 2019, early 2020 was a huge, huge part of what they have planned and what will activate when they kick it all off. We'll have way more going on than just some lights in the sky. Just gut feeling.
Ooh, that's horrible, Walter.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that was all part of it.
I had never even connected that dot.
Why project it in the sky? We can project it right in your fucking skull.
Yeah, no doubt.
Or we can
That-
tickle your pineal gland with all these new extra stuff so that you'll have
Right.
some sort of spiritual experience at the exact same
Right.
time.
Right.
Now, do you think there's people out there that can't be affected by those things? It's the skull technology and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, discernment's a big thing, and we've all been practicing it, I hope, lately. And those little voices are always pretty active, and I've been pretty resistant to them so far. Haven't driven off any bridges. Haven't, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's all a big part of the push of control, down to your fucking nano whatever. Anyway, I'm trying not to be a Danny Downer this morning. Hell, it's been a good week. It's Friday, my dudes. We got a great show planned for this afternoon. So, whatever they're going to do, if you are ahead of the game, then we're ready for it. And if you're not, then they're going to get wrapped up in it. They gotten wrapped up in every fucking other little thing they've thrown up on the screen for them to enjoy. So, yeah, as I clicked over to kind of find out about the Las Vegas aliens, I saw, let's see how many UFO stories. NASA talked UAPs with the public ahead of final report. Biden saying recent objects shot down were not spy balloons. An unidentified cylindrical object, we still have those, shot down over Canada. So if push is not even the word at this point. They were pushing it back when they were saying, they might release some footage from Navy, blah, 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 that was immediately shot down by all the UFO, all the effects experts that I watch all the time on UFO stuff. And anyway, whatever. I'm just, I don't know. It's just, yeah, more part of the circus at this point.
Now, do you think it just dawned on me when you said that, Walter? You know, we've been talking about the tech that they have, and so the people that Jerry Marzinski, the beings that Jerry Marzinski, you know, has learned about, has discovered. What if they are human?
You got to be more clarity there.
It's the skull technology out there.
Right. I mean, if it is, they've had it for some time now.
Saying, what if they're that far advanced? Like, think World Fairs back in 1910 and all that stuff. How much we had back then.
Well, wasn't that the idea of Disneyland? That Disney scouted and searched for these areas that would affect your personal vibrations. It wasn't just a tagline to call it the happiest place on earth. He would even then go so far as to start to manipulate some of the energetics in the park to make sure, to literally ensure that it was the happiest place on earth. Whether it's sounds and smells and frequencies. That was his desire. And then you think of if voice to skull technology had already been perfected back then, what would be the point of MK Ultra?
Well, because the voice, they just hear the voice. MK Ultra is more of programming a human being without them even knowing it. Like, they're supposed to not remember the MK Ultra, supposedly, if Hollywood is correct and blah blah blah. That's some of the research I've done. Like, once you've gone through MK Ultra, like, they erase that part of your memory, supposedly. And then you get like a phrase, you'll hear a phrase or something like that will kick it in and start it off.
The post-hypnotic suggestion.
Yeah, but it's like making an alternate personality. They torture you so much that you have to create this alternate personality. And then that alternate personality is the one you know, they teach and train to go assassinate a certain person, and then they bring you back. And you're not even aware that that alternate personality is there until it hears that phrase and kicks it off again. Supposedly, I wasn't there, but that's supposedly how the story kind of goes. They used a lot of LSD and different types of drugs and hallucinogens and, you know, really not nice things, electroshock, what is that? Waterboarding people. I mean, it was torture. You were pretty much tortured until they could break your psyche, your brain, and then rebuild it, supposedly. I don't know how it all works. They say our brains are kind of like computers.
I just don't think they would need to do that if they had already mastered voice to skull. I mean, if you're already making people think that their thoughts are their own, do you need to create an entire alternate personality whose grasp on reality is tenuous at best, and the conditioning and programming doesn't last permanently? It always wears off. There's some sort of melding between the two personalities and some sort of mental break where they just go absolutely bonkers apeshit.
Maybe there's something with the whole killing part of it. They need your alternate personality to do things that your personality just can't come to do.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
plus, I'm sure they have their reasons. But no, yeah, they probably didn't have voice to skull technology. I was just saying, what if? I mean, what if all those schizophrenics are being just tested on all these decades to perfect the voice to skull technology? Or maybe they can hit some people but can't hit others so much as well. I don't know. I'm not sure.
This is
Yeah, it
the
was just
scary
stuff.
part. That's what's so scary about targeted individuals, is that I think that's where they're practicing and perfecting their voice to skull and their
Absolutely.
digital harassment and electronic harassment, and exactly how they learn to fine tune their dials and their frequencies in order to even start to try to get that voice to skull. Because voice to
And these
skull, as I recall, is pretty in depth. It requires a lot of monitoring of those brain waves in order for them to then recreate the brain waves to pump back in, to backfeed it into their brain as something else. And I just saw a really cool thing about the Monroe Institute, and basically sort of the same thing, that the tapes and the things that you're listening to have all been programmed according to whatever frequency and vibrations are inserted into that particular recording, and nobody really knows what it does, and it's just sort of setting everybody to that Monroe Institute CIA type of frequency that's being essentially programmed into them.
Yeah, and these people are definitely real. I've met two of these people, both former military. One of them, she believed that she was hearing God, that God was talking to her. Remember Tina?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hard to forget. But she was telling me that, like, she was out on the ocean, big aircraft carrier fleets, and she would get a message to her brain to all the ships need to move over 2 clicks to this quadrant, something like that, to avoid whatever. And she would go tell somebody higher up, and they would do it. It wasn't like they were getting their information from, well, now this also was coming from her, so I don't know if any of this is true. But she was definitely a very troubled individual. And a lot of these people, they don't settle down. They don't, you know, buy a house. They don't. She traveled around constantly, slept in her vehicle, and just tried to get away from these people. And it was crazy because I didn't believe any of this. While she's sitting there telling me this, I thought, oh, great, another crazy person on my walkabout. And she saw this guy ride by on a bike towards these 2 RVs that were parked next to each other. She's like, watch, in a few minutes, they're going to invite us over there. They're going to wave us down. We're going to go over there. We're going to have a really short conversation. They're going to take my picture, possibly yours too, and then they're just going to walk away. And as sure as I'm sitting here telling you the story, that happened to the T. They're like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Come on over. I thought they were going to invite us in and have dinner or lunch or something like that. Oh, how you guys doing? This and that, blah, 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 blah. Then they were pretending like they were looking on their phone, pointed it right at her, and then, like, within 10 seconds, they just scurried into their RVs and were gone. Never said another word. Just freaked me out. Made me, like, second guess myself on thinking she was crazy. But yeah, she said all these people are usually older, retired military, and their job is to go around and find people like me that are at the state and national parks and the BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, all that kind of stuff. They're there to just go find these people and document where they are. Yeah, I don't know. All I do know is one day she freaked out and she moved her car like right next to my tent, a couple feet away, and then turned on Spanish music, like blaring it so loud. I just packed up and left. I was done. I had enough. But yeah, these people are definitely out there, for sure, that have claimed that they're being attacked this way.
I'd always been willing to sort of dismiss them as just a paranoid schizophrenic type thing where everybody's out to get them. And I'm sure there are cases like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I interacted with people that claim to be targeted individuals, more videos I watched of targeted individuals going through what they claim to be their attacks, the more I was convinced that I think there's something there. They're not all paranoid schizophrenic. And the idea that either they've pissed off the wrong person and now that this is their retribution, or maybe they have information, or again, they're just being tracked and traced and just a general harassment. We're just going to make your life miserable because, well, that's what we're going to do to you. I don't know.
Yeah, you might have been unlucky one and drew a number when you got your little shots, the hundreds of shots they give you while you're in the military. Maybe yours had something special in it.
Or you posted the wrong thing on the wrong board online. The wrong person saw it. Now you're fucked.
And then the other gentleman I met, now this guy was a family man, had a family, a wife, children, and his wife knew about it and everything, and he would have to go on little walks a couple times a day when it would get real bad. Now, he had issues as well, it seemed, but he claimed to be one of these people as well. And this is the gentleman that told me about the high altitude balloon program that isn't carrying, satellites on it. It's actually carrying large platforms, like floating military bases up there. He told me that these are up there. They're up over higher than 70,000 feet. You have a small group of guys in there that are up there doing all kinds of stuff like this. And they're up there for a long period of time. That's what he told me. Wow. Again, could be crazy. But it just sounded true when he said it. And this was years ago when he told me this. As far as 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, our military is advanced. And they've been doing stuff for a long time. So yeah, this whole alien invasion, I don't know. I'm going to make a thing of popcorn and...
Yeah, enjoy the show.
Well, that should be real close to break time.
I believe you're right.
It is really close.
Like any second now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah,
now
you
you're
never know.
pushing for
Consistency.
miracles.
But this has been.
Hey,
What'd you say, Zach?
what are you having tonight?
You broke up still for me.
What we got
What
going on
happened?
tonight?
Oh, well, we have our buddy Zombie Snoop popping
Zombie
in.
Snoop.
He will be
That's-
arriving as he intended.
I see him in chat just now. That's why I asked, because I thought we were having him tonight, but I wasn't 100%. He says, Liz, yes, I am. Awesome. Wait.
There's some break music I hear, if only faintly. This has been the first half of the Ironworks right here, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. We're also on YouTube, DLive, Facebook, maybe Twitter. I don't know. There's a few places. Stick around. We'll be right back for more of the Ironworks right after this.
Put your goals in your journal, because one of the major people you want to study is yourself. Study your accomplishments. Study what your desires are. Put them on paper. Write them down. Here's another reason for writing your goals down. It shows you're serious about doing better. And to do better, you got to get serious. Everybody hopes things will get better. Poor people hope. That ought to tell you something. It means the future does not get better by hope. It gets better by plan. So get serious about your goals. Put them on paper. Write them down. There's all kinds: business goals, financial independence goals, family goals. I mean, there's so many things to work on this that if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you'll wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix it.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Gio, founder of Truth Frequency Radio and host of Beyond the Veil. The mainstream media and establishment are running scared right now, and they've prominently featured truthfrequencyradio.com as number 89 on the federal government's hit list, also known as the fake news list, which is essentially a list of sites slated for censorship on Facebook, YouTube, Google, and other social media. Now is the time for you to get involved. Share your favorite TFR shows far and wide on forums and social media. Tell your friends and family about your favorite shows. If you're a business owner, get in touch with us to feature your product or service right here on TFR. And if you haven't done so already, become a TFR supporter now and get unlimited commercial-free downloads in high quality. Visit truthfrequencyradio.com/sign up. Thank you for making TFR the leader in independent and uncensored talk radio. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
True initiation is an inward journey. It's a spiritual path that is totally inward. It has nothing to do with anything external to you.
I want to determine if the grand architect is indeed what I believe it to be, which is the artificial intelligence.
The initiatory path is one of self-discovery and self-revealing. It's not a journey that someone can hold your hand through.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the steps of initiation. Remember, you are divinity.
Step Beyond the Veil with Chris and Sherry Gio, Fridays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
Allegedly.
You're a liar!
You never can trust the things Stephen Hawking says. You just never know what the hell's going to come rolling out of his mouth. Welcome back. Second half of the first half of the Ironworks kicking off right now.
So I just saw this article, right?
Right.
Maximilian Rivkin.
What?
Reward offered to a man who sold criminals encrypted phones, unaware they were being tracked by the FBI. Okay, folks. Here's how real criminals work. They don't use cell phones at all. I mean, they have them. I'm sure they use them for some things. But real criminal organizations that aren't getting, caught like the guy who sold these phones to, I'm sure they write everything down or they speak face to face with the person they're talking to. There's a reason that they are like heads of criminal organizations. Now, I know, a lot of these criminal organizations, they get into drugs and then they start making stupid mistakes. And yeah, I mean, they're human. But if you are a criminal, do not trust somebody that's selling you a phone that's, encrypted or this. There is no encrypting a phone to where they can't hear you or use it. Come on, use your brain. It doesn't work that way. They're finding malware in everything now. Everything. To where there's backdoors put into this and that and yada, yada, yada. I mean, there is no way around it. Come on. Unless you build the phone yourself and write the code and all that kind of stuff. And then you're still probably not safe because you have to use their hardware, their towers and all that kind of stuff. So if you are a criminal and someone's offering you a phone that is encrypted and can't be hacked, don't be dumb. All right? Just saying. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, really? There are criminals that dumb out there that they must be watching too many movies or something. I don't know. But no, to me, there is no way to encrypt a phone to where nobody can blah, blah, blah. No. Unless you went out there and made it and built it and programmed it and all that stuff, then yeah, you're going to get hit by something. Someone's listening. How hard do you think it would be to make a phone? And I've seen people online talk about, oh, well, I only use this type of operating system and I pull all this stuff out and yada, yada, yada. Then I upload all my own software and blah, blah. Do you think that would work? Hello?
I think you'd need to erect your own towers and or send aloft your own balloons in order to have your own private secure network would be about the only way I could think to do it. And even then, how secure is that?
Now, do you think the elites have something like that?
Yes.
Something that only they use and we couldn't even access it no matter what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do too.
I think private military contractors operate. I think there's probably several private networks that way.
That's how criminals get away with it. Yep. I bet there's still a lot of people out there, I don't even like saying the word anymore. It sounds like I'm old. A mob. I bet they still use paper and pencil. And it's all couriers and face-to-face meetings and leave your cell phone here, Faraday cage, that shit, stuff like that.
The purpose of a bag man.
They probably use stuff like the disappearing, reappearing ink and all that kind of stuff. Little tricks of the trade. And code words.
Dead
Remember the
drops.
movie Wedding Crashers?
I do.
With Vince Vaughn and
Yep.
whatever, crooked nose guy.
And the other one.
They go to like a secret society family, right? A really wealthy, he's like a head of state or something like that. And you find out that he and his family have a secret language that only they understand. His daughter was telling the guy about it, right? Oh yeah, we have a secret language that only our family understands. I don't doubt that that's true. I know it was like a joke in the movie, but I don't doubt that maybe not each individual family, but I would bet that like these certain circles, they have their own language. Not just this word means this and this word means that, kind of like a slang thing. No, I mean like oh neep nap nap, like crazy. Yeah. I don't doubt that. I bet that part of the movie was true. That some of these families that, you know, they've been around since the Mayflower and all that stuff. And I bet they do have their own types of languages. So even people in their circles can't understand what they're saying sometimes if they don't want them to. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah,
Well,
we
I
were
was
going.
looking for a story I thought I had stuck in here. Apparently, I just read it and moved on, but it was about medieval magicians and some of the tricks of their trade. One of which was to write secret messages upon yourself with urine, and then once it dried, there would be no visible trace until you applied ashes or dust to the surface of your skin wherever you would put your secret message. But I don't have the story up here, apparently. I'm trying to go through my phone history now and see if I can find it, because for some reason I've been getting a lot of stories about that time period.
Why was it urine? Did it like hold it longer or something? Or
Just part of nature. I don't really know. It's just that's part of the trick. You could also, it seems like there was another way to reveal it other than ashes. Maybe hold a piece of paper that had been written on with it close to a fire. Or like I said, I'm trying to find the story now. Hang on. I hope I can. I read so much crap. I'm looking at like 4 days worth of stuff, and it's story after story. Hang on.
Nachiketa in chat writes, there's a language in Switzerland that is a combination of French, German, and Italian, and only 10,000 people can speak and understand it. I think that's Romanche. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong. I got that off Archer, so take that with a grain of salt. That show is pretty accurate I've learned so much from that cartoon, probably more than any other show. And because they like mention things, like when someone says something about an elevator, they'll mention the guy who invented the elevator. You know, so I got to go look it up to make sure that they're not just throwing names out. And they do it. They talk about false flags and just all kinds of crazy stuff in that show, but it's all like factual based little nuggets of knowledge. Whoa. All right. Let's see. I saw something else in here.
I found the story, but I got sidetracked with some map talk there in chat. Let me go back here now that I've got it on the computer. So this is from medievalists.net, and apparently I I mean, it goes through some pretty crazy stuff. To give water the color and taste of wine, it explains that you are to soak scraps of bread in a wine which is called vin râpé, which is a wine they also use to color other wines which have lost their color. Now, when the scraps of bread have been well soaked, dry them in the sun and carry them concealed within your jewelry. Whenever you come to someone's house, you say you have nothing to eat but bread and water, ask for the bread and water, break the bread into pieces, and some of the stained scraps allowed to fall in the water, and therefore you have now changed water into wine. What else here? There's all kinds of urine tricks, apparently. I don't understand this one. I'm gonna find the other one here. Invisible ink, method of writing letters that cannot be read without the use of fire. Take ammonium chloride, mix it with water, and write on any paper you want. When it dries, nothing will appear there. Then make a dot with the ink by the part where you've written your message. When you want to read it, place that part marked by the dot against the fire, and when it is well heated, the letters may be revealed. Another method that cannot be read without powder is to take urine and write on your hand. When it is dry, nothing will appear to be there. When you wish it to be read, sprinkle ashes or powder over it. And there was another one. Where's that one? Oh, it's just another reveal of that same trick. So here, I'll share this with you guys in chat.
Horrible vision. Some old man taking his piss cup and writing on some young guy's back so he can't read the letter, and sending him off to some other old guy who then says, "Come here," throws ashes all over his back and reads the letter. But yeah, you write it on their back so they can't read it.
Sweet. What's mine say?
What's mine say? Throw some ashes on your back. See what comes up. Wow. Yeah, I had never even heard of writing hidden messages with urine. Never even.
Well, as a young magician, the trick was always using soap. And if you got, pretty adept at it, I could draw a pretty nice little, diamond or heart or a club or a spade with the appropriate letter or number and have that revealed later when you burn the card that was chosen and all that kind of stuff. But I shan't reveal any more secrets lest I lose my standing with the magicians. So
end up being chronically harassed for the rest of your life.
Right.
Or spiritually, because they're magicians.
Should future Mars missions have all female crews? Sure, why not?
As long as future moon missions will only contain men.
I thought the girls went to Jupiter and boys went to Mars to get the candy bars, right? Isn't that how it went?
I thought men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
Or did the boys go to Jupiter?
Right, give us the one with the monsters and stuff. Great.
Whatever our love language is.
The new insect-sized robot called BEE++. BEE++. A new insect-sized robot has the full 6 degrees of movement that a real insect has. So now they have BEE robots. Washington State University has 4 wings made out of carbon fiber and mylar and a lightweight actuator to control the wing. It's the first robot of its kind to fly stably in all directions, according to Washington State University statement, including the twisting motion known as yaw. typically the hardest for robots to manage successfully. Wow. My nephew's really into robotics. They're like, we didn't have this kind of stuff when I was in school, but yeah, there's robotics competitions now that take place every, like, I know their school has a team, and I think it's like every 3 times a year, maybe, or something like that, maybe 4 times a year. They meet up with a bunch of other schools, and it's not like Robot Wars like you see on TV. It used to be popular, where they go and they design a robot to destroy each other. They give the children a task that the robot has to do. Pick up these objects and put it through this in this certain way, or something like that. And that's like the stipulation. It can only be so big. I think it has certain, and you can only use so much stuff. But besides that, it's your design. Not many of the robots are like exactly alike. So it's all designed by the children to do certain tasks. And then they go to the competitions and they have like races and stuff like that. So you can do the task the quickest. Stuff like that. It's really neat. I wish we had this kind of stuff when I was younger. The most we did was, here's a little engine and a piece of wood, and you have to design like a vehicle.
Well, what about Big Track? No? God, I'm old. So in the 80s, if you had the money and your family wanted to blow it on you, they could spend, I believe it was a couple of hundred, if not maybe 300 for this retro futuristic 3 or 4 tired tank that you could program, go forward 80 feet, take a right 3 feet, go forward 2 feet, take a left 8 feet. And eventually it would bring your brother a snack perched precariously on top of it. That was our robot playtime back in the 80s.
Seems like
1979. Oh my God, we were ahead of the curve.
You must have been. I was thinking
$200.
Rocky. Remember the robot?
Wait, what?
The robot maid that Rocky had?
Right. Now that's stepping up now. That's big money. You talking Rocky money. You talking about Boa money now.
Rocky money. If that was like,
I'll show you Big Track. Here's Big Track. Oh man,
Big Track. I never heard.
There it is. With that hot retro graphic styling for you. Don't drop the Cheetos. I forgot about the wagon part. I guess my cousin tore up the wagon. I don't remember having the wagon involved. Oh, the 80s. If you directed it just right, it'd run right through your sister's dollhouse.
So China has started digging a mysterious 10,000 meter deep hole. Well, they say they started, and they claim they're going to get 10,000 meter. Oh, and then the very first, second paragraph. So that's the story heading. China has started digging a mysterious 10,000 meter deep hole. As per China's state-run Xinhua news agency, work is now underway to dig a 11,100 meter borehole. So I guess 10,000 wasn't enough. But it won't beat the 12,262 meter Kola super deep borehole in Russia. So it's not going to dig the deepest one. They just want to go 10,000 meters down. They are hoping that the hole will significantly improve our understanding of deep Earth geology.
But I'm so confused. Like, I thought we had done it. I thought we had finally done it. Didn't I put a story in it? That we had done it? Like, we're there. We're, for the first time ever in history of life, ever. I'm sorry. Let me go see what story it is before I just talk out of turn here. Aha! I found the story. Let me see. Oh, it's got to be the same story you're reading then, right? It's got like rocks from the Earth's mantle and da-da-da-da-da. That's not the same people? No?
Yeah, this one's
It's different. Okay.
shows a picture of it, what looks like an oil well.
Oh, yeah, no, this is apparently a different story then. Okay, so where did I see the freaking line that I copied and pasted into the history here?
4 years.
This
digging.
is the first time humans have dug through the Earth's crust. And I quote, this is the first time humans have dug through the Earth's crust. According to nextbigfuture.com.
Wasn't that out in the ocean, though?
April 12th, 2023, geologists and microbiologists and other scientists sailed, they did, to a 14,000-foot underwater mountain sitting on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean called the Atlantis Massif. The plan was to dig into an existing 4,640-foot hole drilled nearly 20 years ago to collect, or they collected rock from the Earth's mantle. The temperatures were over 204 degrees Celsius, we're told. Deep digging expeditions are currently underway all across the world. This is the first time humans have dug through the Earth's crust, it says. I know I've repeated myself now, but I'm just letting you know this is the first time. So over the past 60 years, thanks to deep water drilling, technology has advanced significantly. We've improved drill bits. We've improved GPS. We can sit in the exact same spot in the water and drill deeper than ever before. And yet this is the first time humans have dug through the Earth's crust. All right, I'll stop.
Didn't the star Betelgeuse, wasn't it getting dimmer?
I thought it brightened up again.
Both.
Or something.
I thought it was getting dimmer previously.
And brightening up.
Now it's brightening, I think.
50% brighter, and it confounds scientists again.
Alien signal from aliens signaling us.
Wow, China is allegedly building a 2,800 mile, 30 megawatt warship radar. Okay.
Yeah, they unveiled some like gigantic aircraft carrier recently too. There was like, crowds and everybody. Yeah. And if you look at it from above, you can see huge, gigantic cracks all across the top of it.
Oh, you can't write it.
It's pretty good stuff. What are you finding, Walter?
Oh, am I stopped? I did. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was talking out loud. This is still the same story. I was just reading further down to find out that in 89, a Russia project drilled 12.2 kilometers into the Earth's crust, the deepest hole so far. Those rocks extracted at a depth of about 3 kilometers were almost identical to lunar soil. Anyway, go ahead. I'll stop.
Oh, that's great. So we're almost at break. We'll get through this one real quick. A leaked Tesla report shows the Cybertruck had basic design flaws. No shit.
You don't say though.
Had problems with braking, handling, noise, leaks. Good Lord.
Those pesky windows, don't forget.
Right. Bulletproof glass was
It shows tires falling off and stuff on the picture. I love it. They won't be until 2024 at the earliest. 2017, folks. 2018, he started selling these things. Yeah. I mean, it's ugly as sin, in my opinion. I wouldn't buy one. But you probably have a better chance getting to the moon. than getting one of these. Just say.
Being launched into orbit to float around through space for eternity.
Great white shark just showed its head off the Carolinas coast.
Hashtag shark thing coming.
Maybe the sharks and the aliens are going to team up and we're going to have sharks with freaking laser beams on their head. Yeah.
Sharks with freaking lasers.
Target has lost $13 billion. I mean, when is like money gonna take back control of capitalism? Wasn't that the whole part of capitalism, to make more money?
Hi, my name is Ella.
Right.
I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
You don't hear them talking about COVID. COVID. To be specific, COVID-19. That name gets further and further away from China as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus. Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Calling it Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Testing is a double-edged sword. They test and they test. People don't know what's going on. We got this, they got this. You do testing, you're gonna find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down. You know what? We got another one over here. The young man's 10 years old. He's got the sniffles. That's a case. That's a case. Thank you, China. Send us the plane. Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Calling it Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Despite the fact that the IE have done a phenomenal job. He lied. He lied. I say hundreds of thousands of lives. There was only one person that died. I ran for politics once, then I became president. You're so lucky I'm president. There's a limit to what we can achieve. I stand before you today to declare Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Kung flu. The Chinese virus. Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Calling it Kung flu. The Chinese virus. If I lose an election over that, you know what? This country's in big trouble. Big trouble.
What the fuck?
You must unite what is inside us.
We are TFR, Truth Frequency Radio.
Happy Friday, my friend.
I'm starting off fresh, and I feel good. I look good. I smells good. I am good.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
This is Iron Mike Tyson, and you're listening to Iron Realm Media.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Ah, you're breaking my balls here, huh? You're breaking my balls.
Don't touch those! Don't you ever touch my balls without asking.
Welcome back to the first half of the second half of the Ironworx right here on truthfrequencyradio.com, TFRlive.com. We are being broadcast through other various parts across the plain, so ought not be that hard to find us if you're looking, but if you're hearing me now, then you're probably not looking for us because you've already found us, and we're sure glad that you did.
You can take that from a dead mummy.
So I bought a shirt yesterday.
Nice.
That wasn't flat Earth related.
Wow.
Now, for those who don't know, it's been like a decade at least since I've bought clothes for myself. You know, I've always, besides like flat Earth stuff, promoting, you know, other flat earthers. Got my Melodome shirt, I got my Jeranism shirt, you know, those are the only types of shirts or clothes that I've ever bought. I have a bunch of them from like Solar Returns and Flattoberfest and FEICs. But I don't buy clothes. I don't care usually, you know. Doesn't matter to me. I still have clothes from when I was 18 years old. Doesn't matter to me. Don't care what I look like. But I saw a shirt. I was at a Army surplus store yesterday. I went looking for a mapping compass, and that was the only place I could find one. And yeah, I walked in, asked if he had the compass. He had one left. Awesome. Got it. And I just started, I love Army surplus stores. So I started walking around. I see a shirt that has a big white block on the front, and in it, it has the image of Kilroy was here. Now, if you don't know what Kilroy was here, you know, what it looks like or what it means, it's from an old war movie about World War II that Clint Eastwood did called Kelly's Heroes. And it was one of those types of movies that had like a bunch of A-list celebrities. It's just a great movie. And I used to draw that all the time on stuff. Kilroy was here. It's just a guy with, like, he's creeping over a fence or something, and his nose is hanging down over the fence, but you don't see his mouth or anything. It stops right there, and then his fingers are curled up over it. Then underneath it says Kilroy was here. I had to have the shirt. I had to. I've been looking. I've wanted a Kilroy was here something shirt, hat, anything forever. This was the first one I've ever seen, and it was actually specially made for that shop. The back of the shop is the name of the shop and the guy's name who owns it, old Air Force guy. I sat there for like 10, 15 minutes just talking, family military history and stuff like that with him. I love those types of shops. But yeah, Kilroy was here. What's the last thing you ever Zombie says his father-in-law used to draw Kilroy on everything. Yeah, I did too back in the day. Right after I saw that movie, I fell in love with that for some reason. What's the last shirt that made you go out and buy it, Walter? You saw it and you just had to have it.
That would have to be my Professor Bulwer-Smythe t-shirt that I got right after Nick came and hung out with us. In spite of him warning me not to buy a shirt from that site, I did anyway. And I wear it around and people go, "Who's that?" And I let them know. If they have a phone, I link to our show with Nick. But if they don't, I just tell them where to go.
What about you, Josh? What's the last article of clothing you saw and was like, I got to have that?
I don't even know.
Has it ever happened? I mean, last time I cared about clothes, I was like 14 years old before I found the Beatles.
Where I thought I just have to have that article of clothing.
Yeah,
Man.
you saw it and it was like, that shirt's mine.
Yeah.
Or those shoes or whatever.
I don't know. I'd have to give that some thought. There's nothing that comes to mind.
I know it's got to be a hard one. You don't strike me as the got to have that clothes article type of guy.
No, I've never been much of a slave to
Right,
fashion.
that's why mine is Nick's t-shirt for his channel and not like, I had to have a, well, I can't even think of a label name to tell you that wouldn't be 80 years old. Right.
Remember those? Oh, I was in middle school.
Yes, with my Guess jeans.
Big.
So I guess we went through and bought a bunch of t-shirts for the family several years ago. Like the $5 t-shirts or whatever it was. And it's just this huge catalog of graphic tees, and you just go through. It's like $5 a pop, and you go through and you pick out 6 of them or whatever. So I guess Dixie, David, my son, and then the 3 of us, we all went through and picked out some t-shirts. I guess the closest thing I can think of is actually going through and trying to find t-shirts that I didn't dislike, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about you see something, it's like, gotta have it.
Well, there was one that I thought was really good. It's just a light blue t-shirt, and the graphics are just plain black, but it's got like the 2 fingers touching, the God and I guess Adam, and you just see the 2 fingers touching. And the text on it says, "Feed the homeless, sell the Vatican."
I love it.
I mean, who are you going to sell the Vatican to? And you're still just promoting these Federal Reserve notes. But I liked the premise, the spirit of the shirt. And there were a few,
What was the name of the articles of clothing? That it was more like a comic book, and they had different comic book clips, like just one, like the Sunday morning comics, where it'd just be one picture and then have a funny little caption on it.
Uh-huh.
They had a line of shirts like that back in the day, late 90s, mid 90s maybe. Rubes, maybe. I'm not sure. I can't remember the damn name. But I had one of those, and it was my favorite t-shirt. I wore it till you could see through it and just touch it and you'd poke a hole in it. But it showed a guy with like an executioner type guy with a whip in his hand. And it had a cow that was chained to a wall with its top, like, arms were up above his head, chained to the wall. And the caption read, "The horrible truth behind whipped cream." For some reason I had to have that. That was like way back in the day, high school. I want to say
I must have missed that era. I mean, it sounds like the Far Side
That's what I
type
was thinking.
thing,
Yeah.
but I know Larson never did that. He never put out T-shirts, or he was kind of like Groening in that respect. Is that there was never actually a legal Bart Simpson T-shirt until probably 2001. All those you saw in the 80s and 90s when the show was on were all bootlegs and not legal. So same deal with the Calvin and Hobbes pissing on the back of your truck stickers. Those aren't really legal either. Copyright, whatever.
it was
So yeah,
RUBES.
I'll
Single.
have to go look it up.
But yeah, oh, it's got one with a guy pointing a gun in a cow's back, and he's holding the cup. Says "Got milk." That's all right. But yeah, Rubes they were called, and they used to make T-shirts. I can't believe that popped into my head.
Right. So apparently it's basically that is whoever decided, well, if Larson's not going to put out some shirts, I'm going to make mine and put them out because that's exactly what these look like is freaking Far Side comics. I mean, down to the cows being hugely a part of it. This is wild. I totally miss this.
So they're just
So
Far
wait,
Side
tell me that
knockoffs.
the Far Side is real and Gary Larson's a person. I didn't get Mandela, did I? Help me, help me.
I hope we didn't.
Rubes. Yeah, I don't know. I remember Far Side too. Those were a little bit more risque, though, if I'm remembering correctly. A little more adult humor.
I mean, they were over the head of a lot of kids in that it took some
Interpretation.
some smarts to get to some of the jokes, but they weren't adult oriented or anything like risque. No, they were just
They were still safe.
actually scientific would be more like he was a like closet scientist for true scientists, not scientism.
Nerd.
A lot of his cartoons had to do with things that only a scientist would get the joke. Literally, if you didn't know some scientific terminology or methodology, some of his jokes went right over your head. So,
Did you guys happen to catch any of the debate last night? Jaron, Austin, and David were on a guy's channel that had like over 150,000 subscribers.
Damn it! No, I even set the notification, and still, they sent it to me. Believe it or not, I just missed it.
Yeah, it went pretty well. For the part I caught, like the first bit, they went on forever. Like I went to go see how it all wrapped up and everything, and see the comments, and they were still going. That was 3 hours into it, I think. So they started about 7. Maybe like 9:30, 2.5. Yeah, and I really liked the host. He was, he started off saying this is all, coming from a place of love. We're not here to gotcha or anything like that. This isn't, one of those shows. This is about bringing together ideas and, everybody trying to come to a rational understanding of what could possibly be going on. And they were pretty open-minded. I mean, they were definitely, still attached to the ball and trying to defend it, which we all did, And they even admitted they really didn't know what the flat Earth model, how people believed it to work. They didn't really go in and do a whole lot of research, which I like because there's so much disinformation out there that when people think that they went and looked into it and I'm just going to blow this stupid crap out of the water, it makes for a more of a abrupt beginning to the show where they're just like almost bashing heads because the other people think we're all retarded. And with good reason. You go to the Flat Earth Society website and go read some of the stuff they say in there. Yeah, it's retarded. So, but it went pretty well from what I saw. I cut out a little bit early. But yeah, I saw a lot of, that's interesting and stuff like that. Yeah, me too, Liz. I was just tired. I got tired. I don't know. We've been doing the Glowbusters Tech on Thursdays, and we did it a little bit earlier yesterday because of that debate. We wanted to all be there for it, so we started at 4 yesterday. Man, I don't know how you do it, Josh. It's probably like nothing to you, like walking anymore, like running a show, but it's tiring. I know I'm just sitting there, but the mental drain.
It's a
Like,
lot different, isn't it? I mean, just
Yep.
mentally, just hosting a show versus co-hosting a show versus being a guest on a show. Yeah, it's a lot different. It helps if you don't run it well to begin with. Then there's a lot less stress and pressure.
I know, but I'm trying to, keep what Bob was doing going, and I go back and listen to myself. If I say or one more time, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start like getting out the little whip or something. Every time I say that, I need to get lashed or something because I say it a lot when I'm nervous. I'm sitting there listening to the show back a little bit at the beginning. It's like, good Lord, can you say or one more time? Moron, shut up. And Cammy just laughs because I guess Bob used to do this all the time too. And it's weird, because you're the guy like Josh. Do you practice? Did you used to practice the intros and stuff?
Yes.
Or you're going to say it and what you're going to emphasize? It's
not necessarily the cadence or what I was going to emphasize. It was more just trying to ingrain the words into my brain so that when I did, it would just, I could recall it naturally and not have to spend that time thinking about it. And it's going to minimize the number of ums and other stuff that I tend to do sometimes as well. So really it was just a matter of trying to, I guess, hear it myself and then just ingrain it into my brain so that it just, I can recall it without effort.
I guess the cadence and stuff with me is trying to keep it sounding like Bob used to do it. Mostly at the beginning and the end. And a couple other little just small, like introducing the panel and stuff like that. I'm trying to keep it kind of the way he did it, That's how Glowbusters Tech and Glowbusters is always run. So I want to try to keep that going and try to do it as good as Bob did one day. That's what I'm shooting for.
Well, needless to say, last week when I downloaded the Mark Devlin show, I only did that. Downloaded it, prepared it to put it on our channel with a new thumbnail and a brief description explaining it was a rebroadcast, and turned it loose. And then the day turned into me spending the whole show just about over in the chat with you guys, and it was fun. I definitely was shocked when the show started and I was hosting. Josh apparently had some car trouble that day and was a bit late. And when I hit the ground running, as I did, I definitely remember the good old days when coffee actually had an effect on me and wasn't just a maintenance juice as it is now. So, yeah, prepped, doubt it very seriously, other than having, been in front of a mic. Other than that, it was just pretty much running off at the face, it sounded like. But it worked. Definitely not a preparation type thing. But, dude, yeah, what you're doing over there is definitely worthy of Bob's memory, my friend, for sure.
Thank you, man. I'm trying.
You got it.
Well, we're planning on, we were talking about this on the show Tuesday when Nuka was on. Nuka will be a part of this, hopefully. I can't wait to see what his measurements read.
Right, I know.
We went over magnetic declination yesterday and showed how Karen had done it without using like time and date for finding your solar noon and stuff. She found solar noon herself and shows how to do it. Really interesting. Go check out the show from yesterday. It's right near the beginning. But how just with a nail and a piece of paper, pretty much, you can track out solar noon all by yourself. And then I showed a little way I did it. It's a little bit easier. I use time and date. They tell me when solar noon is, and then you can find true north that way. But we're trying to figure out whether or not our magnetic declination readings that we're given are actually the ones that we measure here on Earth, and if they're moving the way they say they move, and things like that. Austin Whitsitt had brought up a great point about the magnetic fields. It's like, how do we really know? And he's right. We don't know. We've recreated the field that they've given us. It makes sense to us the way we see it, but is it reality? You know, that's the key. It doesn't matter if it could work if it's not actually how it is. So we're going to be looking for groups of people. I mean, we have pretty much the East Coast of the United States covered. West Coast, we have one out there in Utah. Could do another one maybe in the Southwest would be nice. But the central part of the United States, there really is no magnetic declination. It's barely off. Like right there where you, Josh, it's like zero or real close to zero. So we won't need anything from the Midwest, or actually, I mean, figuring out if it is actually zero would be a good thing to have. But we're looking for places where it's off by like 10 to 15 to maybe even 40 degrees off. And we want to verify that these are the actual magnetic fields of the Earth that we live on, not just on paper.
I'm going to talk to my boss today. Because when I magnetize compass needles, as we talked about on Tuesday, but then those compass needles go into instruments, and those instruments need to be tested to make sure that they are pointing true north, and we need to make sure that the needle is centered in the instrument, and so that there's enough movement, you have enough room for it to correct and counter correct and finally settle back in. And there's all sorts of different tests and things that we go through. But it's got to be mounted somewhere that is pointing due north. So they figure it out. It's this big, large contraption that's like made of aluminum, and it's supposed to help reduce interference from other sources, I guess. And I'm going to ask him how they figure out the declination, or if they need to figure out the declination, and how does it go about determining. You would think. One would definitely think so. Or if he just uses some sort of reference, some guide, and he just assumes that whatever information he's given is correct, and that's what he uses, and it does work. I'd be real curious.
Yeah, we want to verify this, though. You know, I mean, that's the only way we know for sure is to verify it.
Well, I mean, we're using this in the military stuff. So if the information that we were using were off, then I don't believe
it would work. Yeah,
our military would be so
great at killing
effective.
People.
Yes.
Yeah, we do it. We do it well, don't we? But yeah, so you're going to be seeing some videos coming out here within the next month or so. We want to get dates set up even, hopefully, so we can do it on certain days, maybe like 4 times a year, to see if, and not just this year, but continually, because it's ever changing. It's not like the magnetic field is static and set in place. Even the charts and the maps, they show you that they'll give you how much it's off, the year that was taken, the measurement, and then how much it moves annually on average. So if your map is 5 years old, you take your magnetic declination reading they give you, then you take the annual average, multiply that times 5, add that to your source, and then that's your magnetic declination right now. Not super accurate. The map, I showed a video of a guy doing this for navigation out on the water. The map he was using was 13 years old. I don't know if I would trust that map. You know, and taking an average of how much it should move even though it changes. It's not like it does move this much every year. This is the average. And average, just because it was average last year doesn't mean it'll be average this year. It could be twice as much.
Well, then I'm wondering how that would even work. Because if we're setting north with declination in the 1960s on the instruments, and they're still in use, and that declination's changed because I don't know, wouldn't that throw everything off? As the
declination, I mean, the magnet's going to point wherever it points. You just need to know the declination to adjust it. So, yeah, the magnetic field lines are going to be moving, but true north always stays north. So as long as you know how much it's moved or how much it's off from north, you can still find your true north,
I hear break music.
I do too. And thank you all for hanging out with us here, searching for our
Do not
true
settle
north.
for the average. Average is
What's up,
the
what's up, what's up, what's
grave in
up?
which excellence is buried. Average people strive to fit in, while excellent people strive to stand out. You can never change what you accept. You can never change what you refuse to confront. If you keep pretending that mediocrity is your best, then you will never proceed to excellence. You were not born to be an average person. This, therefore, is the challenge. We need to inspire people to not settle even when they seem to be successful. As a matter of fact, the greatest enemy of progress is your last success. When you settle on what you've done and believe you've achieved everything, you have just begun to die. Excellent people never settle for the average. Develop a deep commitment to excellence.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
We exist in the security and comfort of our worlds. Paved paths, lights, and manicured lawns give us peace of mind that our world has been tamed, and we are its master. But other worlds exist on the edge of our sight. On the edge of our awareness, the shadows move. The woods fill with the unblinking eyes of the nightmares our ancestors warned us about. Some of us have stumbled into these forgotten realms, whether on purpose or completely by surprise. I'm Brent Thomas. Join us on the Paranormal Portal Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. to midnight Pacific Standard Time as we journey into the world of the paranormal phenomena.
Into the paranormal. Real people, real radio. Wherever you are, biggest TFR. Truth Frequency Radio.
This is Michael Tyson. You probably know me better as Iron Mike, but I don't go by Iron Mike no more because I used to be a monster. I'm a different person now. I'm all about happiness. But what is happiness? I'll tell you what happiness is. Every time I listen to my favorite show, Iron Realm Media, it's a truther show on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. You're listening to Iron Realm Media. I listen all the time, and it's the best truth show out there. Forget about the mainstream lying. Get your weekly dose of iron. Realm, that is. Stay woke, folks.
And welcome back. Fourth and final segment of the Ironworks. Kick it off right now. I would have sworn I heard a Jonathan right there at the beginning of the break.
I did hear a Jonathan, and now it disappeared.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'd missed a couple calls from last night and earlier. I'm just horrible with my phone. Jonathan, if you can hear us, tune back in. I was going to even drop you a text just to let you know I did see you there.
Yeah, I think I heard him speak right at the break.
Yeah, that was what I heard. And then I looked and I saw a logo. Quite familiar with it. Excuse me.
Oh, so yeah, just to finish that off, we would like to start like a group where just, every 3 months or so, it doesn't have to be on that day, but near that day, you just go out and you'll have a designated area to know your true north. We'll show you how to set up just a couple sticks in the ground or something like that, a marking system. And you measure your magnetic declination and see if we match what we're told. We'd like to get this, as many places in the plane as possible, and especially in the southern hemisphere. That's where we're looking for, on outside the equator is where a lot less data has been gathered. There's just, 5% of the population lives outside the equator. The rest all live in the center circle. Crazy when you think about it. So is India totally in the northern hemisphere? I don't even know. Jeez, my geography is horrible.
I know. As much as we've looked at all this, I don't even know.
But yeah, we're really wanting some people from the outer skirts, because that's where it's really hard to trust the data, because nobody's really navigating out in the oceans, the southern oceans, using that kind of stuff. It's just not places that people really go unless you're really adventurous, dangerous. So yeah, we really want to get some real raw data that we can compare to the data that we're being given. So yeah, I expect to see that here in the future from the Globebusters tech crew, and hopefully some more members in the community just around the plane that we can get to help out.
That would be good to see. Definitely. It feels like a good time. We have a huge influx of new people coming in. Where's the numbers at? I haven't looked at the app in a week.
Oh, I'm not sure. Remember we used to do the sun tracking back in the day?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I found some data actually when I was looking for things for making the video for Jeremy. I found, all kind of old things we used to do back in the day. I found some stuff from the January 24th moon shoot that we did with people like from all across the plane. That was pre doing this, I believe. That was when we were still hanging out just on Twitter and doing things in Twitter groups and trying to figure out stuff. So I found the data we had collected for that, for the magnetic, for the sun arrival and departure. I think I even actually had my compass in hand before I gave it to my nephew there in Oregon. Back then, using it rather than using the phone crap that I, really didn't feel as trustworthy with. I know one thing though. I'm planning on doing some serious cloud busting this weekend, because every night as I get ready to pull out the new scope, well, new to me, and pull it out there, it starts clouding up. So I want to see something. Damn it!
Oh, did I don't know if this happened after Tuesday or not. I know I told you guys this, but I met a flat earther in the grocery store.
Yeah, you told us. That was crazy. I don't think you talked about it on the show though.
Okay, well, yeah, I was going up to one of my ladies that work at the grocery store, and she's the checkout lady, and I get in line, and this guy that's right in front of me kind of turns, and I see the very top line of his shirt says the earth is flat, and the next line was and stationary. And that was like the very top of the shirt in big bold letters. Then underneath it in smaller letters, it was saying, it is a lie and cause autism and all kinds of stuff, the whole shirt all the way down. It's like, hey, man, that's a cool shirt. I was like, where'd you hear about that? He's like, oh, I heard it from Dave, Flat Earth Dave. And then he pulls his phone out. He's like, yeah, look. And he had the Sun, Moon, Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app by Blue Water Bay. He wasn't on the Friend Finder yet, because he was like, yeah, this is amazing, man. I didn't know there was other people around here. And I told him, I was like, man, if you want to find other people, there's 205 people right now that are, within a 50-kilometer radius. But even if I go down to, let's see, we're going to go down to 10 kilometers and see how many people there are. 31 people within 10 kilometers of me right now that all live right here. And then that's not like the other side of Spartanburg, or Greenville has a bunch. And then up near Charlotte has a bunch again. So I'm like right in the middle. We have not a bad little group here in Boiling Springs, Spartanburg, but yeah, 31 blue dots right around here. And I told him if he wants to meet up with some flat earth, it's a great way to do it. Speaking of meeting up with flat earthers, did you guys know that there's a Flat Earth Festival happening in Las Vegas?
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby.
Speaking of Vegas, baby, where's Andrew?
Yeah, October.
Y'all are gonna have to strap that dude down in Vegas.
Tickets and any information you need at flatearthfestivals.com. All one word, flatearthfestivals.com.
Oh, apparently Austin's on it for me. He said he heard that vinegar is the way to bust clouds. Callback.
Flat Earther on her street this week.
Oh, crazy.
It is happening, folks. We are everywhere. Yeah. It was just a few weeks ago.
Oh, she gave him the app, but forgot to give her code. Yeah, I don't even know what my code is now. Walt? Walt? Flat Earth Head? I don't know. Walt, that might be it.
Walter in a metal voice.
I think it's just Walt. I'm the only one. Walter! But if you wanted to add the metal voice, right, it always helps.
When I do I do it in a soprano voice now. I don't know why. It just popped into my head. Oh, man. Good stuff.
Well, this afternoon, as I said, the plan is we're going to be talking to our buddy, Zombie Snoop. He may be a tiny tad running late due to work. As we all know, it is part of life. So we'll probably come up with something to fill those few minutes before he gets there with us, I'm sure. Who knows? Maybe Jonathan will find his way back over here.
I know he's been still settling in and making some more positive changes, and just I think he is now decidedly back in New Jersey for good. I think
Yep.
he's found a place
I
to
think he
settle
is.
into, and
I think he has.
Yeah, he's doing good. I kind of disappointed he didn't stick around. That's why I was going to send him a message, because I got the feeling that he wasn't going to stick around because of the break.
It's all in the timing, baby. That's what they tell me. It's all in the timing.
On the reflex. Jack Burton would say. No?
Absolutely.
Jack Burton formed so much of my personality as a young boy.
I see a lot of Jack Burton in you. So when the world's coming down on you and they're sending the dogs after you and they ask you, hey, Jack, have you paid your dues?
You just look him square in the eye and you tell him the check is in the mail.
If you haven't seen it, great movie. Even children can watch this movie. I don't think it's too risque or anything like that, or has any horrible violence. My little brother loved it at like age 3, 4. He watched it like 100 times. Favorite movie, Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, definitely a good flick. I rewatched it, I guess, about a year ago or so. And then about 3 months ago, I was just kind of walking through the local box store and happened to see that there are some figures out there. I saw Lightning and I saw the main evil guy, Pan. Damn it, my brain's broken. Anyway, the main guy that was the bad guy. I saw those 2 figures out and about. So it's interesting that they're still making things for these older movies. There was something. Oh, it's not that one, but it's Rumblings. Apparently, John Carpenter is talking about, in a very offhand way, a potential sequel to The Thing, another great Kurt Russell movie that he was involved in. That would be great. I don't know how they're going to pull that off exactly, since the implication of the movie ending was there would be no continuation. But hey, yeah, Lopan. Thank you, Brian. My brain was broken.
Yeah, they kind of got rid of Lopan there at the end. But it is like ancient Chinese mysticism. There could be a way to bring him back, I guess, or, the movie.
What Brian Metz, Buckaroo Banzai, another one I rewatched not too long ago and was really kind of going, wow, this movie was a bit ahead of the curve. If you don't know what I mean and haven't seen it in a long time, then go check out Buckaroo Banzai again as well.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really?
Am I a communist?
No, not at all. It's one of those that if you didn't know about it when it came out and see it, you probably missed the ride. As much as it wants to be a great cult classic movie, it just isn't.
It's almost. It's like it's got that small cult following.
Very small. In that people like Zack that I would have thought would know it didn't. So I put it in that same like culty area as Repo Man. A very select few people know about Repo Man and are aware of its. Yes, Brian, John Big Booty knows. But definitely a lot of potential hidden things that we are speaking about even now as we do our shows on a weekly basis. Always revealing truth in the movies while they tell us lies on the news.
Another one, if you haven't seen it, Time Bandits.
It's on right now. Like, it is streaming right now. I started it the other day and got about as far as Napoleon and then got called away to do other things and haven't gone back yet. But
part is great.
Yeah, that's
That whole movie.
epic. This movie's great.
There are
I
giant.
saw something a video go through that kind of had some implications on the ending being a negative movie ending, which are rare in Hollywood. But I don't ever think of that ending of that movie as a negative ending. I think of that movie as quite a positive ending. I mean, you had to have seen it by now, people. I'm going to be Zack. So yeah, Kevin had no other options. He had to have what happened, or he wouldn't have had a life. His parents were fucking sheep idiots, and that was kind of the whole point of what happened to him. Anyway, sorry. What did Dawn say? Right on, Walt. Thank you, Dawn. I'll see you, lady. Remake? Wait, what? There was a remake? No.
But yeah, if you haven't seen Time Bandits, there's giants. Not 10-foot giants, but giants. There's the end of the earth in this movie.
Oh, okay. So yeah, go ahead there, Zack. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to play catch up on some things in chat.
I'm just throwing out little tidbits.
The giant, yeah, with the hat, hat on his head, the boat. So apparently, there's confusion. There is a movie called Repo Man from 1984. It had one of the Martin Spawn there. Which one was in it? Was it? It wasn't the crazy one, was it? It was Emmanuel, right? I mean, Emilio, right? Yeah, Emilio. That's right. And Harry Dean Stanton, and it was great. Repo Man, go check it out. Repo Men was a totally different thing about organ stealing and things like that. That was not anything to do with Repo Man. It was two unrelated movies.
Repo Man, is that the one that Mick Jagger was in?
No, that was Free Jack. Another Estevez vehicle.
Jagger. That was horrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. Really bad. Really, really bad. But yeah, Repo Man, great comedy movie. Michael Nesmith from the Monkees involved in it. Yeah, really good stuff.
I thought that's where Emilio Estevez was a garbage man.
No, there was a movie where Emilio Estevez was a garbage man. Good Lord,
that was
the brains were all.
Sheen with his
and
brother.
Sheen, it was the Sheen boys, right?
Oh,
But
what was that
Repo
called?
Man was him and Harry Dean Stanton, and they were literally repossessing people's cars, and it was a whole thing. It's great. I'm not going to spoil it at all. It's so unknown, apparently. So go find it. I don't know where you're going to find it. What's it called, Zack, where they can find these movies? You know.
Put Locker.
That's it.
You didn't hear
don't get a check.
PUTLOCKER.SB right now. I believe it's from, I don't even know what country that is.
Serbia, probably.
Yeah, the last two letters always change. It's never ever .com. It says .com, don't click into it. That's somebody with malware that's trying to get you to click onto a site. Putlocker.SB right now. It's been AU, it's been IA, it's been a bunch of different things.
Repo Man from '84, Zombie Snoop is asking in chat. Repo Man was like 2010 or 12 or 15 or something later. Yeah. And again, it was a good movie, but just not the same movie.
Is Sylvester Stallone going to be Judge Dredd in the new one?
Oh, I thought he was. I tell you what, that one that came out with Bones in it, I can't remember the actor's name. He played Bones in the Star Trek remakes. He was in the Riddick movie. What's his name? Damn it. Anyway, he's one of the guys from the Boys show. Anyway, that guy. That guy's in it. And it was the better Judge Dredd movie to me. Anyway, damn it, I have to look it up now.
We're slowly getting to the end of the show here. Actually, quite quickly, man.
Yeah, we're there. Carl Urban would be the gentleman whose name my brain will not bring into effect. If you didn't see the Carl Urban Judge Dredd movie, definitely a great movie.
Brian A. Metz in chat got it.
Yeah, there we go. I had to look it up. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. So before we get out of here, just want to let everybody know garden is doing well this year. Permaculture soil seems to work. This is the first permaculture garden I've got to actually garden after a few years. And the beds do, when you dig down into it, where there used to be nothing but wood chips, is really black, good soil. I'm pretty amazed at how well this worked. So if you're looking to maybe build a new garden and you're not sure how you want to do it, you don't want to go through all that tilling and all that hard work and just really removing all the nutrients from your soil year after year, try permaculture. I think it's Return to Eden, something like that is the name of a great documentary on permaculture gardening and how to get it started and upkeep it and things like that, and mistakes that people have made doing it. But yeah, it works. I am shocked. It's all about turning the soil in your garden like the soil of the bottom of a forest floor. Everything grows, even in the shade in the forest floor. It's amazing how many nutrients are in that soil from all the leaves decaying and logs falling over and decaying over, decades. Kind of where he got this concept, is trying to turn your garden soil, instead of something that you rape every year and totally destroy and turn over and pull a lot of the nutrients out of the soil every year. This holds them in there and just constantly keeps breaking down and making more new nutrients.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the amount of earthworms in here is just ridiculous. It works. So try permaculture, especially if you're in a place where the soil isn't that great. Yeah, it's working for us, at least, I have to say. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, the plants are getting big. It's nice getting back to know some plants from just a small period of time. These are my friends.
Throwing this out there, Bill Will in chat. Copper garden tools. Never even thought of such a thing. Being more helpful for the plants and working with them.
I could see that.
Yeah. Great one, Bill. Thank you so much.
Even
thank all you
smelted.
guys.
What if you were
I'm sorry,
smelted
Zach.
and
John.
just coat regular garden utensils in copper? That'd be seemingly a lot cheaper. With the
It
same
could
effect.
be. Yeah, anodizing is real simple. It really is. 9-volt battery. I can send you a video real quick. I had one up not too long ago, actually, because I was thinking about doing it to my guitar stuff on the old guitar I'm going to redo.
Yeah, I see a lot of people practicing the electro gardening out there now too. Just, trying stuff out. I'm all for people doing that. The only reason I don't do stuff like that is because I don't, test on living things like that. It just, I don't know. Maybe I'll change one day, but that little voice inside me says, don't do that. Yeah. Not saying that it's bad, but
wait till there's 2-foot grasshoppers, then you'll think it's bad.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. I don't know. I don't have enough knowledge to be playing with such things. On living organisms. I don't know. I don't want to be the next Frankenstein. So, yeah, I just don't do it. But yeah, the electro gardening, I've seen a lot of amazing results. Magnetic gardening, using magnets, using electric fields to make bigger plants. But like Josh said, you could maybe do something with the insects in the garden as well. And yeah, be careful. All I'm saying. All right, we're getting real close. I'm going to say it now. Hope to see y'all tonight and love y'all.
Yes, sir. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Zombie Snoop will be hanging out with us. Anyone else is more than welcome to come and hang out as well.
Make sure you join us. He's got some really cool stuff that they've got going on that I'm really excited to check in and hear about.
Man. I am too. I'm excited. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And we love you guys. Come hang out.
Be there.
Love you guys.
Cammy.
What did you just say, Zach?
Cammy will be there.
Excellent. We will have Kimmy this evening. Love you guys. Be good. Be well. We love you. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you back here on Tuesday for more of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Always a pleasure hanging out with you folks. Thank you all for making it there in chat. Thank you all for those that didn't join in chat but are listening live or listening after the fact. We appreciate your support one way or the other. Daz made it a comment about all roads, or I have created this area where all roads and flat earth sort of connect back here, which I thought was a little bit interesting. Anyway, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Okay, very interesting.
This is iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody.